Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Brought to you by Fit to Curl, a sport-specific guide to training for the world's greatest game by 2010 Olympic gold medalist and Team Martin third John Morris, with some help from me, Dean Gemmell. It's a great holiday gift idea for the curlers on your list, and you can pick up a copy at your favorite pro shop or at fittocurl.com. He was the 2011 M&M Meat Shop's Canadian Junior Curling Champion, but the new line on his resume is skip of the team that won the DEKALB Superspiel. Braeden Moskowy, welcome to the Curling Show.
Hey, Dean, thanks for having me.
I show my lack of prairie roots with not being able to get the DEKALB name right there, but guys out there will have to cut me some slack. Hey, let's be honest, I'm really the one to credit for this win because I saw you in Brantford at the Sun Life Cash Spiel. We talked a bit, and I told you that I'd have you on the show if you want to spiel. So I think what you really needed was that bit of motivation, wasn't it?
I guess we have you to thank for that. When you told me that, I said, well, you'll probably be waiting a few years or so here, but luckily, I guess we got her done.
Yeah, I was talking at a time when your confidence maybe wasn't as high as it could be. Tough field in there in Brantford, and you guys ran into some tough teams.
Yeah, no, not too often do you lose your first, and then you got to go out and play world champion Mr. Cooey, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes, and yeah, it was a heck of an event out there and a lot of fun, and I guess we had a 1-3 record, but we kind of felt like maybe we played a little better than that indicated, but that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. It
was easy out in Brantford, certainly to have a 1-3 record, or to beat Kevin Cooey in your first game and go 2-3 and not feel that bad about it either. So there you go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, the $10,000 probably didn't hurt, but I understand you guys were stuck in Winnipeg for an extra day or two as well. Is any of that $10,000 left?
I guess stuck wouldn't. Yes, I guess we're stuck, but it was kind of our own doing. We Kirk and Dustin had to be back for work and school commitments, but me and DJ kind of decided we'd scoot on over to Winnipeg for the night and maybe celebrate a little bit with a few friends there. So it was our own doing, and got stuck in Winnipeg for a few days and had to bus home yesterday. But we got a little cash left.
So you were stuck in the way 20-year-olds get stuck anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So, the old parents weren't too impressed about that, but that's how she goes sometimes, I guess.
Hey, the win, it appears, puts you guys through to Provincials after you played 8 weekends in a row, I think, on the World Curling Tour. But in the time before your trip to beautiful Morris, Manitoba, you'd cashed checks for a whopping $1,600. As I mentioned before, was the confidence starting to ebb just a bit?
Yeah, it was a bit. It was frustrating. We went through times where we'd play really well, and then we'd have just 1 or 2 bad ends a game where it just kind of all fall apart. And I guess that was just kind of maybe a new team and four new guys kind of playing together sort of thing. And then, but like I said, in Brantford and the weekend before that, we lost 2 qualifiers, I think, and we felt like we were starting to kind of get it together maybe, even though the record wasn't indicating it. And then in Morris, it just kind of, everything kind of came together, and yeah, it was a huge weekend. Not only is a $4,000 game for first, but now we don't have to play city or South playdowns. We're straight into Provincials, and I guess 1 in 16 shot at going to the Brier now.
I was next to you for 2 games at the Sun Life there, and you had a tough game against Jean-Michel Menard, a game you'd probably normally finish off.
Yeah.
And then even against Kevin Cooey, a game that went 2 ends. First end, you probably threw your worst shot of the season on your last one. I think you did.
Yeah, we're lying 3 on the 4-foot, and I can throw it probably anywhere from an inch over the hog line to somewhere out front of the rings, and he's got to draw a side of the button for 1, I guess, against 3 in the first end, and kind of slid top 4 and set up a nose-hit quad. So instead of maybe being 1 down or 3 up, something like that, we're down 2 after the first end. So, that's just, again, one of those things where juniors, probably 9 times out of 10 you'll get away with that, and then when you're playing the big boys and all these guys now that can throw it hard and accurate, and they're going to make you pay pretty much every time. So just kind of, again, one of those learning things, and frustrating, but I guess that's the way she goes, and the only way you'll learn.
You mentioned moving up to play men's teams, and of course then you're talking about leaving a guy at quad and what a problem that is, but I talked to Mike McEwen once and asked him what he learned after moving from juniors to men's a number of years ago, and he he said that at the time he actually thought success would come more easily than it did. So what has been your biggest surprise or adjustment? And you guys, came out of the gates pretty well. You went to Players Championship last year and qualified. So what's been your biggest adjustment with sort of the weekend grinds on the World Curling Tour?
Yeah, it's a couple different things. Like I said, a new team, I guess. That's going to make it. It's going to take some time, obviously, and. Two of us are in Regina, two of us are in Saskatoon, so we haven't had a ton of time to actually get together and practice as a team, and we've been playing so much too. But that's kind of what we wanted to do, play a lot, and fortunately we had some decent sponsorship that we could do that. But it's just kind of been, like I said, we show glimpses of it, and then the next end it looks like we've never curled before at some time. So it's just. The biggest thing we've found is we can play with a lot of these teams. It's just a matter of finding that consistency and being able to do it game in and game out, and kind of bringing that same game to the table every spiel. And Morris was the first time where we can actually say that we didn't really have any slip-ups. I think we had maybe 2 bad ends all weekend, and we played some pretty good teams, like Grandy Dutain there, and Daly and Vic Peters and Robbie Fowler and Mr. Liburn. So it was really good to just kind of finally put it all together and see some results out of it.
Calm and collected probably isn't the way anyone would describe your team right now. Is that emotion something you guys are looking to get under control, or are you just going to roll with it? Some teams work that way.
I think we're all, me and DJ especially, probably maybe a little more a bit hot-headed at times, and we've been known to maybe slam the odd broom here and there, or have the odd selective language out there. But that's kind of something we're definitely going to try and tone down a bit, and we're trying to and working on it. But at the same time, maybe that's kind of something that works in our favor. We're pretty intense guys, and when we're out there, we want to win, and we're kind of going 110, and sometimes I guess that stuff's going to happen.
I always think that's a difficult line to find because I think, if that's your nature, your personality, you can't get rid of it too much. But
that's kind of what we've always said. We'd rather have a guy like that than someone who misses a shot, and they're like, oh well, So that's just kind of how I've always been whenever I've played sports, and I can't see that changing anytime soon, probably.
What other sports did you play growing up?
I played a lot of basketball in high school, football. Played hockey up until I kind of started taking curling seriously, and I played a lot of golf in the summer. So a lot of baseball too.
Basketball, you're a big guy, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'd probably dominate the curling basketball league, I think, because from what I've seen on tour. So. Hey, you won the Canadian Junior Championship last year, the M&M Meat Shop's Canadian Junior title, and then kind of a rough ride, I think, at their disappointing finish at the Worlds. What did you take away from that?
It was disappointing. Kind of going in there, we were definitely one of the favorites, obviously, as Canada probably always is, and we hadn't lost in probably, I think, 2 months. We hadn't lost a game, so we go in there and start off 0-3, and I had 2 easy shots to win the first 2 games. So that was pretty disappointing, but like you said, it was just a great experience, and to get that international experience and the whole thing with jet lag and playing and just different culture and all that stuff, it was a great experience. Obviously, it's disappointing that couldn't bring home a medal, or especially the gold medal, but it's when I look back on it, it was a great experience, and the national, especially, to have a week like we were able to have was something that isn't done too often, and who knows when it'll be done again. So nothing but fond memories when I look back at juniors, and obviously still, I don't think they'll ever go away, but a little disappointed on the showing at Worlds, I guess.
Speaking of teams from other countries, though, you played in the Sun Life in Brantford, and probably more than a few Canadians scratching their heads a bit about 3 of the 4 teams in the semis being not Canadian teams on the men's side, and a U.S. women's team in the final. I guess you know how good these teams are, though, don't you?
Absolutely. That's what I said I was most impressed with when we went over there. I knew it would be, I knew the competition would be good, but I didn't realize just how solid every team would be. They're catching up fast, and you see all these teams over there, and they've all got the international experience, and they all come over. Even the junior teams come over and play in Canada a couple times. Just top to bottom, it was just really, really solid competition, and honestly, those doesn't surprise me one bit that the international teams were kind of up there. I know, Edine's team, just following kind of on Twitter and stuff, all summer long they're throwing rocks and working out and all that stuff. So when you can do that compared to guys who kind of, I guess, have to work all summer and no ice for a few months, that's a huge advantage, I think.
Would you rather be curling, though, than golfing in Arizona or something?
The break is definitely nice.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Joe Pavia in the Ottawa Sun, you may not have seen this article, but he was lamenting the fact that junior curling, and I'm asking you this because you're a kid right out of junior, he was lamenting the fact that junior curling has become too serious for a lot of kids, that not every kid wants to play at Braeden Moskowy's level. And I'm interested to know what's the state of junior curling out where you are, and is it part of the high school programs, or is it, unfortunately, like it is a lot of places where it seems more and more it's an elite level junior program, and most of the kids who are in it are kids whose parents also curl? Yeah,
no, I'd agree with that completely, and I think that's kind of what in Saskatchewan we've seen in the men's level too. But back in the day, I know when my dad played playdowns and stuff, there was hundreds of teams at the city level, and that you had to play. And now I bet you that would enter playdowns, and now I bet you there's 20-some. So it's unbelievable how much it's declined, and I think some of that's due to this kind of how elite some of the top teams are now, and how seriously they take it, and how much they put into it. And the ice conditions are probably a little better. Not all back in the day. Maybe you had some suspect ice conditions where kind of your average club guy could hang with the big boys for a bit, but. And the junior playdowns is the same. I remember when I was first starting juniors, there was you get to the southern provincials, there's a southern and north playdown, and 4 teams went out of that and went to provincials. That was a big deal, and now it's just an open entry into the south and north. So it's definitely declining, and it's too bad to see, but I don't know what you can. It's just kind of where the sport's gone, I guess, in that the elite teams are just kind of that much better than the teams that don't want to put in the work or whatever. Yeah,
I think Joe's point, though, is a good one, that we have to make sure that there's, not every kid wants to be Braeden Moskowy, right? Curling, some kids might want to play once a week for greens.
There's that different level, I guess, and that's why I'm kind of liking the Dominion setup. That offers kind of guys who maybe can't put as much time into it a chance to go to a national and play and that sort of thing. So I think that's a good idea, what the Dominion's doing there, and I'm not exactly sure what you do for the junior program, but
check out Joe's article. Anybody who's listening, Joe Pavia's article is pretty good. He says keep the parents out of the club and turn on loud music and make it fun again, which is probably a good idea.
That would be a lot of fun. I know in Regina we have glow curling now.
Oh yeah.
They blast some music and put some black lights out there and light the rocks up, and it's just another way to probably get some different people into the game and have some fun.
Your junior team, you guys are all athletes from other sports. Did you all, Matt Lang, for instance, a football player, I think. Were you guys, did you all have parents who curled, or did any of those guys come to the game?
My dad and Matt.
I know your dad played.
Yeah, they played in the Brier together in 2002. And then Flash's dad, he just played a little bit at the club level, I think. And then Kirk's dad, Lyle Muyres, he very well known around Saskatchewan. He played in the Brier and was pretty successful on tour for a lot of years.
Is Saskatchewan fairly wide open this year when it comes to figuring out who to bet on as a provincial champion? And with the Tim Hortons Brier in Saskatoon, it's sort of one you really want to get into, isn't it? Do you like? I mean, it's kind of great, I think, to come out of junior and be in a province where there's certainly a lot of good teams, but you might have, it's a little more realistic than, say, Alberta, right now.
That's the beauty of the province right now, especially with Pat leaving. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of good teams, and but realistically, there's probably 5 or 6 teams that they put it together at Provincials and get a little luck. That could go, and we consider ourselves to be one of those teams. So it's certainly exciting knowing that, you've got one weekend, and if things come together, we could be ending up in Saskatoon playing in the Brier in front of 14,000 people. So it's a pretty exciting feeling, and it's a great year to be a part of men's curling in Saskatchewan, I guess.
And where are your Provincials this year?
Where are they?
Yeah.
Assiniboia.
Yeah, not in an arena this year, though, I guess, right? Is that true?
No, it's I've played there before. It's a really nice little club. It's kind of like there's outside stands, kind of.
On the ice?
It would be built for like something like this, like a little provincial 4 sheets. It should be. It's going to be a good venue for it, and hopefully it's a town we end up having fond memories of.
Yeah, that's something I actually think some associations should consider is when they're the rare times when new clubs are built is think about making them as permanent Provincials homes.
Oh, absolutely. I think that'd be great. And Assiniboia is definitely a place you could probably do that. It's a pretty sweet little setup they got there.
All right, Braeden, we finished with a runback. I give you a topic, and you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Hey.
Tweeting that you were listening to Tiny Dancer on your way to Morris, Manitoba.
Awesome. I'll be honest with you, I was listening. DJ put me on to Tim McGraw's version this weekend. So right before you called, I was listening to Tim McGraw's version. I highly recommend everyone go check that out. It's outstanding.
Leave it to a guy from Saskatchewan or Western Canada to tell me about Tim McGraw's version of Tiny Dancer. I got to tell you, it doesn't get a lot of airplay out here in New York.
Oh, man. You got to put it on as soon as this is over.
I'll check it out. I will check it out. How about Paulina Gretzky's shuttered Twitter account?
I saw that. Devastating.
Devastating that it shuttered. Right.
I didn't get much sleep the last few nights over it, so I'm upset, but hopefully she'll be back soon.
Yeah, Dad had to step in, I guess. But
I guess so.
Having a second with the name Flash.
Well, one word here.
Unsettling.
Unsettling, yeah. No, but as he told George Carey, he said, "Yeah, it's a bad name for curling, but I don't flash a lot, so don't worry about it."
There you go. How about having to play Kevin Cooey right after they've just lost to a team ranked 96th in the world?
Devastating again. But that's how she goes, I guess.
The ice at the Paris Curling Club.
Unmissable doubles for the win, as the boys tell me.
There you go. That's what happened, right? It did look unmissable, I guess.
Yeah, it was unmissable.
How about Colin Hodgson?
Beauty. Love Hodgie. Good guy. We have a lot of fun together, and looking forward to having a few pints with him on tour over the next 15 years or so here. And
finally, another former Canadian junior champ, Brett Gallant, winning the same weekend in Charlevoix.
Awesome. Yeah, Gallant's another beauty, and good buddies with him, and we played in the juniors in Sorel Tracy together, so that was great to see for those boys, and hopefully maybe we can, he owes me one. I'll throw this out there. We destroyed them at the Junior Nationals 8-3. So hopefully we'll see them in Saskatoon and get to do the rubber match.
There you go. All right, Braeden, I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors, so let me know who's backing your team this year.
Yeah, we got North Star Industries out of Morris, Manitoba is our title sponsor. Elite Auto Body, Maxim Chemicals, Performance Brushes, Lululemon hooked us up with some gear. I think that is... we got Brant out of Regina, and yeah, that's pretty much it for us.
Well, nice work on that front, and nice work in the Spiel, and good luck the rest of the season.
Hey, thanks, Dean. Appreciate it.
That's Braeden Moskowy on The Curling Show. You can get my take on the curling world, and at times the world in general, by following me on Twitter. I'm at Dean Gemmel with a cap D and a cap G, no spaces. And before holiday food adds 10 pounds you'll feel on the ice in January, start a workout program from Fit to Curl by John Morris. Available at fittocurl.com and at Better Pro Shop. Thanks for listening. Here's Black Pudding.
Salt flat screaming, Jim beaming, no 2 grains of sand are alive. Sow the seed, reap the speed, angel's wing on a Chinese kite, yeah!